What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Now look, let me start by saying this. I'm not anti-fun. I'm not telling you to never leave your house. I'm not telling you to never see your friends again or to live like a monk, because that's not realistic. And honestly, that's not the point of this video. This video is about being honest with yourself about what going out actually looks like for most people right now and what it's truthfully costing you. Because if you're watching this, there's a good chance that you already feel like something's off. Like you go out, you spend money, you stay up late, and then you wake up the next day feeling tired, behind, just kind of empty, and you don't even really know why. So let's talk about why, in my opinion, you should stop going out in 2026 and what it can truthfully do for you. So the first thing that we need to cover, and this is probably the most obvious one, is going out has just gotten extremely expensive, and it's way more expensive than a lot of people are comfortable to admit, right? So money is going to be the first reason. Going out used to be cheap, but it's honestly hard to find things to go out and do anymore without it being expensive. A simple night out can look like, let's say $20 to $40 on an Uber, $10 to $20 just to get in somewhere. Now you're paying $8 to $15 per drink. Food afterward is usually expensive unless you hit up McDonald's or Taco Bell, and even now that's expensive. And then you take another Uber home, you're easily $100, $200 in for one night without even trying. And what makes it worse is how normalized this has become in our generation. People don't even question how expensive it is to go out anymore. They just do it. And it's just like, yeah, that's just what a normal night costs. But think about how often that happens for some people. For some people, they go out every weekend. For some people, it's multiple times a week. And this can be for months or even years. And that's thousands of dollars that are just disappearing from you for just going out. And are these really experiences that you're having that you can think of and look back on and say it's really worth all the money? I don't think so. And it's not like you're getting something, in return, right? You're not building skills. You're not investing that money. You're not creating anything useful. You're basically just paying for a few hours of distraction and waking up broke the next day. And the scary part is, once again, it's not usually going out for one night. It's the habit of going out consistently and letting this become a normal part of your finances. That's where it can do a lot of destruction on your actual financial foundation. And now look, I know I'm going to have people in the comments saying like, bro, we're young, we need to enjoy our lives, but let's talk about the second point, aside from money. I don't know about you guys, but I truthfully believe that most people like our age, like I'm 25, most people don't even enjoy going out anymore. And this is one of like the biggest realizations that I had, and a lot of people have, but just never want to actually talk about because they're afraid to talk about it. But a lot of people go out now because it's like a routine, right? It's not excitement. It's not something they actually want to do. Think about how often someone says, yeah, I'm tired, but I guess I'll go out. Or I don't really feel like it, but everyone else is going out, right? I know so many people that leads them into going out, and that's already a sign that something's off. Most nights don't even start with genuine excitement from a lot of people. They usually start and stem from the pressure to go out, right? They get pressured to show up. They get pressured to be, the one who doesn't cancel, and that pressure keeps the routine going every weekend or whatever it might be. And once you're out, it's usually not even that fun. Like, look, I'll be honest, I was the friend that barely went out. Like, even to this day, like I really don't go out. The only time I leave my house is to like go get food or to go like play golf with some of my buddies, right? But let's be honest, you go out, right? And then you're standing around in an extremely loud place, usually with terrible music tastes. You're trying to talk to people, but they can't really hear you. You're waiting in lines, you're waiting for a drink, you're waiting for something to happen. Half the time you're typing into the calculator, or you're checking the weather of, places you don't even live or you're not even going to visit. You're checking the time, and then you're wondering kind of when it's just acceptable for you to dip out. And a lot of people realize like halfway through the night that they'd rather be doing literally anything else but being out. And the problem is they've already committed, so they can't leave or they feel bad to leave. And what's wild is how common this feeling is. I know I'm probably not the only person that thinks like that. I'm sure you guys have probably felt this before. And if you haven't felt this, I know your friends have felt this. And people don't leave because they're enjoying themselves. They leave because they're exhausted. They just want to get home and they'd rather do something else. And the next morning usually confirms everything, right? You wake up tired, you wake up annoyed, maybe a little bit of regret about the money you spent, or you'd think like, why did I even go out last night? It was pointless. I didn't enjoy it. And that's not a rare thought. A lot of people think this way. And when something stops feeling rewarding, but you keep doing it anyway, it's usually not about the enjoyment anymore. It's about avoiding something else. Usually you're trying to avoid boredom, or you're trying to avoid loneliness, or maybe the feeling like you're falling behind socially because all your other friends go out. So you trick yourself into thinking that you want to go out and you're going to enjoy it when, let's be honest, 99% of the time you're not going to enjoy it, and you're not going to build lasting memories from going out. And on top of that point, the next point is that going out, in my opinion too, is mostly about being seen now. People don't really go out to have fun anymore. Like, they don't dance, they don't have fun, there's no good music. They go out because they want to show off, they want to be seen. And going out used to be about the experience, right? But now it's just like the proof. It's the outfits, the location, take a picture with the drink in your hand, hit the mirror selfie in the bathroom, post your story just to show people you're outside, right? To prove to all your friends that I leave the house and I'm cool because I'm at a bar, or I'm cool because I'm at a club. And a lot of people aren't thinking, am I having fun? They're thinking, does it look like I'm having fun? Are my friends going to be jealous? Are the people going to think I'm cool now? And that's the shift that really changed a lot of things for me. And this is why I never cared about going out, because I don't really care what other people think about me. But a lot of people who go out care about what other people think about them and want to show that they're cool and that they're doing something with their lives. Because once the night becomes about content, right? It becomes about what you can post and who you can share with and who you can show off. The experience becomes secondary. So now you're not really even present. You're just kind of performing for your story or for the pictures. And then you go home, and once again, you didn't really gain any memories out of this or have any fun, because you weren't even present the whole time. You were just posting pictures and taking pictures to share with people. And you see a lot more people focused on their phones than the people they actually came with, right? Once again, they're taking pictures, they're re-recording videos, they're checking who saw their story. And it turns the whole night into how can I make this a highlight reel, instead of something that's am I actually enjoying what's going on? And the part that a lot of people won't admit is that once the post is up, well, at that point, most of those people kind of lost their momentum. They got the post up, they got what they wanted out there, and now they're ready to go home. And the validation hit already happened. And after that, it's just killing time until the night's over and I can go home. And the crazy part is that doesn't matter at all. Most of the people watching your story aren't impressed. They aren't inspired. They aren't thinking about it the next day. They're not thinking, wow, look how cool this person is because they're out at this club right now. It doesn't matter. These people don't care. But you pay real money just to show off for a moment. And over time, it creates this really weird cycle where people feel like they're doing a lot socially, but nothing is actually fulfilling in the first place. You're outside, constantly, yet you're still bored, you're still restless, and worst of all, you're still unsatisfied. From what I've noticed, a lot of people at clubs and stuff who are going out every night and partying, those are some of the most unhappy people you'll ever meet. They just want to feel validated. That's why they do this stuff. They're not truly happy. And that's when you realize that a lot of nights out aren't about true connection or having fun. They're just about maintaining either an image or some type of lifestyle that you can show off that will make those people think that they're happy, if that makes sense. And maintaining that type of lifestyle and image is just super exhausting. No one who wants to do that. I know I don't want to do that. And the next thing is the influences around you when you go out are going to influence your life a lot more than you actually think it was, because the environment around you, the environment you put yourself in, shapes your behavior. When you go out a lot, right, you're constantly around people who drink heavily, people complaining, people stuck in same routines, unhappy people, and a lot of people who avoid responsibility. And I'm not saying they're bad people. I'm not saying they don't deserve anything, but those habits and the way those people talk are very contagious, right? And it's very hard to eat better, work out, work on goals, sleep better, stay disciplined, invest your money, literally anything that's positive. It's hard to think about those things when you're around people like that. And when your weekends revolve around those people, you start normalizing the things that you shouldn't, right? You might normalize waking up late or being tired all week or blowing money or pushing things off because that's what those people do and you're hanging around them. And it just happens naturally. It's one of those things that you think you can control it until you kind of reflect and you're like, oh gosh, I'm starting to act like these people. And eventually that's going to spill into the rest of your life and might spill into your daily routine or your weekly routine or how you perform at work. And you really don't want that happening. And another part of going out too is, in my opinion, it's just unsafe nowadays. Like the biggest city that I'm closest to is Orlando, Florida. And between you and me, you cannot pay me any amount of money to go to Orlando, Florida on a Friday or Saturday night. Like, And people like to brush this off too, but I mean, this matters the most. Like late nights, alcohol, crowded places, people doing things they shouldn't be doing. That's a combination that I don't want to be around, because that combination is just a mixture for bad things to happen, because then you're going to get drunk drivers, you're going to get bad decisions, people are going to start fighting each other, people might, steal from each other. And those types of situations escalate very fast when all the people around you are in the wrong state of mind, right? And most people will think this. They're going to think, well, that's never going to happen to me, until it does happen to you. And even if nothing serious happens, you're still increasing that risk, right? And what are you increasing that risk for? Why are you doing that? For a night you're barely going to remember, or for a night you didn't enjoy, or for a night that you could post and 10 of your friends saw it? Like, who cares? Like, I would never want to take that risk of going to Orlando on a Friday or Saturday night out for a night that I know I'm not really going to enjoy or not make a true memory out of. And it's worth at least questioning whether that trade-off makes sense anymore, right? Like, if you're someone who goes out a lot and you're starting to kind of notice these things or thinks these things, is it truly worth it to go out and potentially risk all these different things just for a night out? Because once again, I was that person who never really went out in the first place. Like, even in, when I was in college or later years of high school, like, I didn't go to parties, I didn't go out, and I feel like I'm fully fine. I feel like I have plenty of great memories to fall back on. But for a lot of people, that's how they believe they need to make those memories. So I don't know. That's just something that I kind of ask myself nowadays too, is it worth the safety risk that we see happen kind of so much recently, especially with social media? So those are some of the reasons why, in general, I think most people should audit if they go out a lot. But we also need to talk about what you can gain by not going out, right? I'm not just telling you to not go out and sit at home and look at a wall, right? We need to talk about what can you actually gain. And going out steals, time that you don't realize you're losing, right? So it's the late night, it's the bad sleep, it's a slow morning, the unproductive next day, and just the mental fog that you have. And one night can realistically wipe out 2 to 3 full days of momentum, in my opinion. And when you zoom out, those are the exact hours people claim they don't have. And what I mean by that is, you'll hear a lot of people say, I don't have time to work out. I don't have time to cook. I don't have time to get healthy. I don't have time to learn about investing. I don't have time to build a new skill. But those same people are the people who are going out every weekend, every night, staying up till 2 a.m. So they do. It's just being spent recovering. It's being spent doing things that don't matter as much to your future self. And self-improvement needs quiet, boring time. In my opinion, I have improved the most when I have no noise around me and I'm by myself. And no one tells you this, but the progress is boring, right? It's just like investing into a Roth IRA. It's a boring account, but the long-term growth's insane, right? Getting in shape can be boring. It can be super repetitive, and you might want to go out. Learning new skills can be frustrating. You're going to challenge yourself, so you might rather go out. Building income streams is, lonely and a long process at first, but it can amount to something later down the road. And none of that happens at a club at 2 a.m, right? I know some people who tell themselves like, oh, I go out to the club because I network. Bro, you're not, who are you networking with? You're not networking with anyone I would want to, run a business with, right? And all of that self-improvement, that quiet, boring time of self-improvement, that happens at home, on quiet, rested mornings, on nights you stay in, and when you choose to have discipline over distraction. And every time you say no to going out, you're not missing out on anything. You're buying yourself time, focus, and discipline. And that focus will compound over time. And now this is a very big talking point too, because when I say staying inside or not going out, I don't mean isolating yourself. By stopping going out, it doesn't mean cutting your friends off or becoming antisocial. It just means being intentional with your time, right? Instead of random nights out, you can invite friends over. I'd much rather hang out with my friends at home in my backyard than go to a loud club. I mentioned earlier that I love golfing with my friends. If my friends want to go out to a club, they're more than welcome to. I would rather save my time, but if they want to meet up with me for a round of golf in the morning, I would love to, right? You can also have real conversations at that point. You can do things with purpose, and you can leave early and have a great time without feeling guilty or feel like you're ruining the night. And you'll start choosing quality over quantity, right? You'll start choosing the things you actually want to do that are actually going to provide value to your life and who to hang out with over how many times you guys can go to different bars on a weekend. And what you'll notice is something very interesting happens when you make this change. Some people in your life will disappear when you stop going out. There might be some friends that you have no idea are only friends with you because you guys go to the same bars and go to the same clubs. And if you stop going out, those people might get distant from you, but you might realize that might be a good thing. It might be a bad thing, but also might be a good thing because maybe you had no idea those people were bad influences or were holding you back from doing the things you actually want to do. Now, what's also funny about that is while some people might disappear, other people might get closer. So if you stop going out and start doing things like inviting friends over, wanting to have real conversations, or just doing things you actually enjoy, you might have no idea that there's other friends around you that are going to get closer to you and you might build stronger relationships with. And that tells you everything you need to know about those people. And best of all, you'll probably start liking yourself more. As I mentioned earlier, and you can tell me if I'm wrong in the comments, but at least from what I've noticed, a lot of these people that go out very often aren't even happy. And not only are they aren't happy, but they don't even like themselves. And when you stop consistently trying to distract yourself and you're forced to sit with yourself or to work on yourself, it's going to be uncomfortable at first, but then it's going to become very empowering for your self-improvement. You're going to start sleeping better. You're going to start thinking clearer. You're going to feel more in control, and you're going to respect your own time. And all of that, is going to lead into keeping promises to yourself. And by keeping promises to yourself and working on yourself, through that, you're going to gain more confidence. You're going to gain more discipline. And I'm telling you, you'll gain more confidence from working on yourself than you will from going out and posting stuff on social media and trying to fit in, right? Confidence is going to come from keeping promises to yourself and working on yourself. So through this whole video, the point I want to get across is if you are struggling with this, or you know people who are struggling with going out and it's something you don't even enjoy in the first place, 2026 is a great time to reset. I think a lot of people feel it right now where things are expensive, people are tired, and the party all the time lifestyle, it just doesn't hit the same anymore, especially with social media, especially with people trying to get clips and content, and just going out's just not what it is it's not what it used to be. So 2026 doesn't need to be about extremes. Once again, I'm not telling you guys to never talk to your friends or to be an introvert. It just needs to be about intention, right? Intention with your time. Go out less, choose better nights, protect your money, protect your time, protect your energy, protect your self-worth. You don't have to quit everything. You just have to stop doing things on autopilot and doing things that you might not even enjoy doing just to quote unquote fit in or to feel accepted in kind of the social norm that's been created nowadays. So once again, if you're serious about leveling up your life financially, mentally, physically, you don't need more nights out. And if you're struggling and you feel like a bad person because you don't want to go out or you think your friends are going to judge you, I promise you at that point, if you think your friends are going to judge you for not going out or they're going to make fun of you for not going out, those aren't even friends I'd want around me in the first place, right? You need more morning and more times and more nights you're just proud of as a person, right? So if this video helped you think differently, let me know. Let me know if I'm wrong in the comments. I would love to hear your thoughts on this. This is probably one of the biggest topics aside from financials that I'm very passionate about because I do think a lot of people get very in their head about creating moments that are going to last them forever and thinking of all these different memories at a young age when in reality, I don't think going out fulfills those things. So let me know in the comments if you guys agree with me. If you don't agree with me, I hope you guys have a great holiday with your family and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Have a good day.